We have been sleeping for too much. We have not been doing what we are supposed to do as an Ummah. We are divided on even ethnic lines. We are divided even as Muslims. We have so many sects.
That plea was from the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Alhaji Sahad Abubakar, at the 4th Annual General Meeting of the Muslim Ummah of Southwest at the University of Ibadan, Oyo State in southwestern Nigeria. How well has the aims and objectives of MUSWEN been achieved?
MUSWEN has been able to bridge that gap, seriously. There is a lot of unity among the Muslims in the Southwest, and all of us can't be perfect or be on the same page at the same time, all the time. There will be divergent views. If there are any, we come back, we review it, we move forward.
We thank Allah that they have been working hard to ensure that Muslims in the Southwest have common ideas of what's needed to be known.
The unity of the Ummah in the Southwest. Either to every state, every organization was doing its own. But at a time we thought that we needed an organization that will unite all of us in the Southwest.
Unity among Muslims at integrating Muslims in the Southwest. Gone are the days when the Lagos Muslim feels that the Oyo State Muslim is inferior, or the Ogun State Muslim feels that the Ondo Muslim is inferior. Today we are one. Today we act in the same way.
Distinguished Muslims from all strata of society who have come together, united in stand to work for the progress of Islam, to have a report of what the achievements and activities of MUSWEN has been over the last 10-11 years.
With the laudable objective of unifying the Ummah, with the brief recognition of guests and eminent personalities in attendance by the MC Alhaji Kamaldeen Akintunde and Moshood Akitonla, the event commenced on a spiritual note. After the accreditation of delegates and guests, the opening prayer by Ustaz Ishaq Tajdini was followed by the recitation from the Quran by Abdulaziz Adewiye.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. أفرأيت الذي كفر بآياتنا وقال لأوتين مالا وولدا أطلع الغيب أم اتخذ عند الرحمن عهدا كلا سنكتب ما يقول ونمد له من العذاب مدا.
Giving account of his stewardship for the past 11 years, Pioneer Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of MUSWEN, Professor Dahoud Noibi, delivered his valedictory speech with various achievements and the areas that still need some attention to fully achieve the set aims and objectives. He also used the forum to appreciate all the past presidents of the organization.
This General Assembly marks the end of my 11 years of service as the Chief Executive Officer of MUSWEN. Therefore, it is only appropriate that I request this august gathering to join me in giving thanks to Allah for granting me the opportunity to serve Him through His Ummah in this part of the country and for this long period of time. I hope I have placed MUSWEN on a stable footing. Not even the perennial formidable challenges faced by MUSWEN made me think of giving up. It was this passion that was responsible for my preferring dawah work in old Oyo State gratis to accepting a sabbatical appointment at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, many years ago.
In his address, the Chairman Board of Trustees, His Excellency Prince Bola Ajibola, delivered on his behalf, Alhaji Ishaq Kunle Sani had earlier made some remarks as the chairman of the Muslim community of Oyo State.
We must strive to play a greater role in the social, economic, and political development of the region and the nation at large. To achieve this, we must seek improvement in the way we run our internal affairs and place a premium on strategic manpower development. The incoming leaders should also see to that MUSWEN projects are completed to the benefit of the Ummah and humanity.
The Sultan and President General of the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs further counseled all Muslims to diligently propagate the Islamic tenets with more focus on education while encouraging interfaith activities.
Education is the best legacy you can give to anybody. We need to educate our children, because without education you cannot even worship Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You must know how and when and where to worship Allah. And that's education. Now we have so many universities in this country. Let's ask ourselves, how many universities are being founded by Muslim leaders or Muslim organizations in Nigeria?
In his keynote speech, Professor Muib Okpeluye spoke on the theme of the AGM, Muslim unity and contemporary political challenges in Nigeria.
Polity has been defined as activities geared towards influencing the action and policies of a government or getting power and keeping power in a government. In other words, being in politics makes it easier to influence government's actions and policies. Islam as a way of life makes political participation halal. Moreover, politics for a Muslim must be a form of ibadah, as we read in Surah 6, verse 162. Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen. Translation: O Muhammad, say salat, my sacrifice, my living, my dying are for Allah, the Lord of the world. The import of the verse is that whatever a Muslim engages in, whether socially, economically, professionally, or politically, must be conceived as worship to attain the pleasure of Allah.
The Goodwill message by Professor Ishaq Oloyede, the Secretary General of Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, was delivered by Dr. Mahmoud Adedimeji. This was followed by Alhaji Bakari's message on behalf of Sheikh Jamiu Keuleri Bello, President General, League of Imams and Afars. A special gift was presented to the Sultan by Professor Yusuf on behalf of the Muslim community of Oyo State. Professor Noibi was specially appreciated, which was followed by the appreciation of all by Alhaji YKO Abdul Karim, Chairman Secretariat Task Force of MUSWEN. The photo session and interaction rounded up the opening ceremony to pave way for the activities of the annual general meeting. The Secretariat report by the outgoing Executive Secretary was followed by the financial reports by Alhaji Rafiu Adisa Ibiti, FCA, Chairman, Finance and Business Committee. The report elicited some reactions which came in form of comments, questions, were duly clarified. Other highlights of the AGM included the presentation of the auditor's report and the introduction of the new Executive Secretary, Professor Musliu Tayo Yahaya, laced with some interactive session on the Constitution Amendment and recommendation for the occupation of vacant positions. The event afforded the AIMS team the platform to interact with guests, delegates and officials as they shared their thoughts on varied issues of the Ummah and the growth of MUSWEN.
I never knew that I would be this long on this job. I thought I would be Executive Secretary for just about 3 or 4 years. By the grace of God, I was able to overcome. And now that I'm leaving, I ought to have left, and I made efforts to ensure that I left at the end of my second term. That was the choice of Allah.
Wonderful event, insightful, and more of it, inshallah. We have actually achieved the purpose, the goal for which Muslim was set up. The next thing is to take it to another level and be able to do better.
Organizationally, MUSWEN has not been able to develop a spread of competent people. So I'm worried that once Professor Onoibi goes, we'll have a lot of challenges.
It filled a gap, a yawning gap for that matter, because Muslims in this part of the country before MUSWEN were not coordinated. They do not have an umbrella body, and that was affecting the interest of the Muslim community in southwestern Nigeria. MUSWEN came to fill that gap, and it has been living up to the to the billing.
Baba Noibi has been very wonderful, and he's been able to steer the ship of this Ummah very well the last. And the people in my age bracket too. I'm talking about YKO, Eseteria, Isaac Oloyede and Co. they've taken the issue of Ummah seriously, and we've been able to tackle some of the yearnings of general Muslims as it affects Southwest.
The organization still need to do more in extending its popularity among the kith and kin within the southwestern Nigeria. By now, we have to go to the situation of letting MUSWEN be in the tongue of all Muslims in southwestern Nigeria. So I think in that area, we still need to do more.
We just pray that the incoming executive should take cue from the old ones and continue to be pious, modest, and lay good rules for the following Muslim.
MUSWEN has done well. It must move forward. And moving forward is organizational and finance. So MUSWEN is doing well.
It's obvious that he has set the pace. He has put MUSWEN on a good footing. So it's now left for us, for the next person that is taking over, to set MUSWEN at a higher level, because all that is required, have already been set. It's now for us to start running.
Muslims being running away from politics as a result of some reasons. That is untruthfulness, then playing politics with money, and doing some things that are not of Allah.
There's always room for improvement. We can't say it's all over until it is over. So we can always improve, but at least we are getting there. We are achieving our objectives, and inshallah we'll continue to even renew these objectives, and we'll continue to achieve, inshallah.
The MUSWEN agenda should be education, education, and education. Most of the Nigerian Islamic-oriented universities today need to be highly improved, make them competitive, inject entrepreneurial and innovation into the scheme of the students, so they can compete with other products of other universities.
It is a very great pleasure for me. I've been away from the region for quite some time, but I schooled here and everything here, and I'm just retiring, and it's a pleasure for me coming back home now to serve the Ummah in this community, so I'm very happy. I'm sure I can count on his support. He will be there to advise us, and so many other people who have been very active in MUSWEN too are around, and I'm sure we'll work together and get there, business lights.